Welcome everybody, I'm Ryan with Sports Stuff Hub, and today we're going to talk about knowing when to sell. Now, I've been collecting, buying, selling, and trading sports cards for the majority of my life. I started when I was about 4 years old. I remember going to the 7-Eleven with my uncle who was visiting, and this is when I still lived in Washington as a wee lad. And we went up to the convenience store, and this is when 7-Eleven still had baseball cards. And I remember my uncle asking if I collect baseball cards. And I didn't even know what they were. I was 4 years old. Come on, man. And he collected cards. My dad collected cards. My aunt collected cards, I found out later on. And so my uncle bought me my first pack of Topps baseball cards. And I was hooked. And it created a monster. And the passion I have for sports cards is stronger today than in any point in my life. And I can fully state that without any semblance of fiction to that. Now, what I have done is I've turned my collecting passion into a business, because I wanted to take the next step and be engrossed deeper into sports and sports cards than just hoarding cards for myself. I wanted to talk about sports and I wanted to talk about cards all the time. I wanted to be able to put special cards in the hands of the right people, whether I pulled them or I bought them or traded for them from somebody else. Now, along the way, I've made a lot of mistakes with buying and selling way too early or way too late. Hey, it happens. There's no science to this, and anyone claims that they have it 100% figured out is flat out lying. Now, very recently I had a conversation with a collector who was scared about selling a high dollar card too early because he was afraid that it would climb in value and that he would regret selling too soon. Now, I hear about this almost daily on social media, especially with the ever constant debate, are sports cards investments? Now, I'm not going to dive into that conversation here on this video. Maybe I will at some point, but not here. In fact, that topic can get you blocked by a number of people, whether you're one side or the other, on many social media platforms. What I am going to talk about is when to sell a card that isn't a forever PC card. Now, it's no secret that people buy or hoard sports cards with the intent of selling for profit down the road. Whether the sale's later that day, like at a card show, or on a buy-sell trade platform such as COMC or eBay, the idea of selling for profit has been in people's mind for well over half a century. Sure, there's plenty of people out there that collect purely for the intention of never selling. I know plenty. But don't let anyone discourage you from selling a card that you don't care about keeping because there's no significance to you. As an avid collector from before creating Sports Stuff Hub, there was plenty of cards throughout my youth that I owned, but I didn't PC them. And back then I remember thinking to myself, I don't want this. I want my PC, guys. How am I going to move this and turn this into what I want? Especially in small town rural Minnesota, where there may not be Miami Heat collectors. There may not be Seattle Seahawk collectors or Chicago Cub collectors. Trades aren't always the easiest to arrange, and selling can give you some financial aid for buying the PC cards or helping you do what I love to do, and that's rip wax or boxes. Now, the art of the sale can sometimes be even trickier than the art of the trade. Either way, a value has to be established by the owner of the card, and an interested party has to be okay with the value associated. eBay's become one of the typical go-tos for deciding what values for most sports and trading cards, as their platform has become widely used in the collectibles world for buying and selling, literally at millions of people's fingertips. Millions of people are on it daily, bidding, buying, selling. It's a very big platform. Over the past year and a half, we've seen collectibles take incredible spikes, but they're also extremely volatile. Spikes and dips are a daily common occurrence with almost every player. With the media at our fingertips, they can be viewed as the main contributor for this, as we now live within the moment and see updates immediately. A player could have a career game and spike their value, or go on a multi-game skid, which then tanks their value. We also now see players' values spike or dive due to comments they make on social media, comments they make in interviews, contract signings, and other things outside of game day. It's happening all too often. When a game is taking place and a particular player all of a sudden scores the most points in a particular playoff game, setting a record for historical relevance, all of a sudden people are searching for their cards on eBay, on COMC, on Slabstox, on whatever else platform there is. I see it on my own website, sportstuffhub.com. All of a sudden a player does something significant, and web traffic for that player search goes up on my own website. It's something you can't avoid. When I was talking to this collector that was afraid of selling too soon, I asked him if he sold the card today based on current market values, would he still make money from what he had paid? I didn't know at the time if he had bought it, if he had traded for it, if he had pulled it out of a pack or box. I had no clue. I had no information on this. The answer that he gave me was a resounding yes. Very emphatic, actually. He was excited. So then I asked if he had any personal attachment to this card. Well, outside of it being a card he had pulled from a box himself, no. There was no attachment to this card, other than the fact it was the most valuable card he'd ever pulled himself, that he knew that he pulled himself. So now I'd eliminated the possibility of emotional attachment being the issue. So now I could get down to what's going on. So I shared with him a very recent story about a card I'd sold this last January of 2021. It was a 2000 Bowman Tom Brady rookie, graded by PSA, a grade of 8. I'd owned this card for only a couple of years. When I purchased the card at a card show, it was a PSA 7. Now, how did it turn into an 8? Well, it looked so clean that I had to have it the day that the seller brought it to my table at a local card show. So I cracked it out of its case shortly thereafter, and after seeing it, because it looked too good in the case, after inspecting a little further, I knew it wasn't going to gem. There had to have been something wrong with it to keep it from getting a gem. So it was centered, the surface looked good. Well, once I cracked it out, there was a soft corner on it, which explained the lower grade, but not quite being a 7. So last year, I think around April, May-ish, I submitted the card to PSA raw for regrade. And in October, it came back as a PSA 8. So I got a 1 grade bump on it. Well, that alone paid for the submission and any fees I had at that point, plus a nice value boost. So fast forward to the card coming back, and then Tom Brady playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at this point, and they looked like an actual Super Bowl contender. Okay. So I've got a card that's increased in value substantially from when I bought it back in like 2017, I believe it was. And now the playoffs roll around. Now we're looking at January. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers had just beat the Saints. So they were advancing to the NFC Championship game, which was going to be against Green Bay Packers. And I looked up the value, and it had doubled since October. Okay. Local collector was interested in it. Worked a deal with him. Sold the card. Now, I could have kept the card with the intention of, hey, Tampa could beat Green Bay, go to the Super Bowl, and that card could be worth double that price even. Nope. I'm a business owner first and foremost. Yes, I have some cards that I'm banking on them increasing in value, but that card, given how much I was in on it and what it was valued that day and the potential drop that it could see if the Bucs lost to Green Bay or if they lost in the Super Bowl, of it going back down to its October pricing, you know what? I'm good with this price. So, could I have held it? Yes. Of course I could have. Well, the following weekend, the Bucs went on to beat the Packers. 2 weeks later, play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We all know what happened. Tampa Bay wins a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, being the first NFL team to ever win an NFL championship in their home city. Just my luck, right? Tom Brady gets another ring. Now, the card then soared in value and tripled from what I sold it for. Tripled. So, just to give you an idea, this card now is worth over $2,000. When I say now, I mean at Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl win. This card at that time plus $2,000, okay? Which is triple what I sold it for. It then came down a little bit, obviously, after the Super Bowl newness wore off. But anyway, so I'm an idiot, right? I had people question my sale of it. And as I said, the potential drop wasn't worth the risk. When I could sell it for 4 times what I paid for it originally, I was good with that. So, to a lot of people, yeah, I was an idiot. To some of these savvy investor folks, yeah, those are the people who never fail in hindsight, but they never talk about their losses. To anyone claiming that the value of the card wouldn't drop if the Bucs had lost, be aware the day of the sale, after the victory over the Saints, the value of the card was 2 times what it was when I got the card back in October from PSA. I said that earlier. I'm saying that again just for reference. Twice the value. Okay. Now I'm going to take you in the exact opposite spectrum. Let's rewind the tape a little bit further. Let's go back to spring, summer of 2018. Life is good. The sports card boom had not happened yet, but we were in the midst of the great Shohei Ohtani craze of 2018. The Ohtani craze was in full effect. In fact, there was a bounty on his Bowman rookie auto superfractor 1/1 to the tune of $100,000. Now, when I say a bounty, I mean multiple companies put out a reward, so to speak. If you pull the card, they would give you $100,000 for the card. Okay? Insane. We have not seen that number pre-2018. This was a first. Let's just call this madness. In fact, his base rookie, not even the super, his base Bowman rookie auto, not numbered, was selling for $1,000 to $1,200. This is an unnumbered rookie auto. Now in 2018, absolutely unheard of. In 2020, yes, we've seen that from the likes of Justin Herbert in his rookie year, with Optic, with Prism, all that kind of stuff. Yes, we're seeing that now. This was 2018 pre-card boom. So, Panini at the time was really young with their first off-the-line program. Not the company Panini was young. Their first off-the-line program was fairly new still. It had only been out for maybe a year. Okay? First off the line is an exclusive direct-to-consumer version of any product they come out with. They call it FOTL, first off the line. Now, in first off the line, what you get is typically an exclusive parallel or two in every box, and they're low numbered. You might get it. Every different product is different, but the product exclusive may be a base numbered out of 13 or 25, an auto numbered out of 25, a rookie patch auto, aka an RPA, numbered out of 25 or less. So each different product tells you what the exclusive is, and each product is different. So Panini releases Donruss Optic Baseball first off the line. Now, it was new enough that it was easy to get. The price was a little bit more than what you'd pay for a base box. I think at the time Optic Baseball base boxes were $80, $70, something like that. And first off the line, I think was like 90 or 100. I'd have to go back and check my Panini account. Anyway, I'd buy 4 boxes directly without any bot, without sitting on their website for 6 frickin' hours. I logged in, add to cart, checked out, good to go. This was pre-craze, okay? So I get 4 boxes. I get my 4 boxes. I was doing group breaks back then. I was running group breaks. I was a breaker back then. I do breaks now. I did take a small stint away. Life happened, got married, bought a house, that kind of fun stuff. Relaunched this year for group breaks. Anyway, I decided I wasn't going to break these boxes. I wanted them for myself. Open the first box. The exclusive in this product was every box contained 1 rated rookie auto black prism parallel numbered 25 or less. All right. I open box number 1. Get to the third to the last pack. I think these had like 2 or 4 autos per box. I get to the third of the last pack. I've got 1 auto left. And sure enough, my last auto, Shohei Ohtani, Black Prism, rated rookie auto, numbered out of 12. Heart stops. Needed to call the paramedics. Kidding. I am freaking out. I'm thinking to myself, this is $20,000+ because based off the Bowman. Now I know it's less, but I'm thinking 25, 20, 30 maybe. I'm freaking out. I pick up the phone. I call my buddy Jordan, and I'm like, holy crap, I hit this. Oh my God, this is life-changing. Oh my God. 10 minutes of me hyperventilating and Jordan pumping me up because that's what friends do. So I hang up the phone, calmed a little bit, still in shock, put the card in a one-touch, lay the sleeve over the top because I'm not an animal, and proceed to rip my next 2 boxes. They were okay. I mean, they were $90, $100 boxes. Couldn't argue. You were getting autos numbered at a 25 or less. I get to box number 4. So, box number 1, reminder, which I don't know how you could forget, Ohtani auto out of 12. Box numbers 2 and 3, okay. Box number 4, I get through it all. I get down to 2 packs left with 1 auto remaining. Look in, get to my auto, slide it over. I shit you not. Shohei Ohtani, Black Prism, rated rookie signature, numbered out of 12. The same card I pulled. Now, they were not the same sequential number, but they were identical cards. One was numbered out of, I think, 11. The other was numbered out of, like, 8. Meltdown ensues because I'm holding minimum, in my mind, $40,000. I pick up the phone and call Jordan back again because I am an animal sometimes, and I needed to disrupt him at work. I took the day off because it was first off the line day. I had to take the day off of work. And I'm blown away holding these 2 cards, hyperventilating. Jordan's trying to calm me down. Massive, okay? Because I just changed my life. So, after the conversation with Jordan, where I let him get back to work, I one-touch card number 2, put the sleeve over the top in the one-touch, because again, I'm not an animal, and I'm literally in a daze. Jackpot, right? 2 Ohtani rookie autos numbered out of 12 out of Optic. I'm rich. Well, since Panini does not have rights to MLB licensing, there is no logos on the product, on the cards at all. No team names. It just says Shohei Ohtani, Los Angeles. They can't put team names. They can't put logos. They have rights to the player likeness, but they can't put logos or team names. So that does tend to discourage people from paying Topps equivalent prices. But still, let's call these cards $5,000 to $8,000 each. I'll take that. $90 boxes. Okay. So I watch eBay over the next couple weeks, and autos were starting to surface more and more. Sure enough, an auto like mine, numbered out of 12, gets put at auction. Oh, it's game time. Game on, because I didn't know what to price these at. There was aquas and light blues and Carolina blues and everything from numbered out of 99 down to 25. Some of them selling as much as $3,000. So I watched the price climb to 4,000 and settle. Good enough for me. That's $8,000 worth of cards right there that I've got in 2 cards. So I listed one of mine. 5-day auction. I'm going to crush this. Bids were instantaneous. Within 2 days, the auction reached $1,500. I was getting jacked for this. Oh my God. I am money signs in the eyes. I am ready. I was ready. Unfortunately, day 4 rolls around, and a high bid of $3,500 was on the table. And they retracted their bid, dropping my auction price down to $2,200. Now I know what you're thinking. What are you bitching about? Okay, I'm going to explain something to you. Bid retractions kill auctions on eBay. If you've never had a bid retraction on one of your auctions, it destroys it. It's like the kiss of death for an auction. Typically, what it means is one of 2 things. Either A, somebody was bidding on it because they had the same exact card or a similar card, and they were trying to drive the price up in order to sell theirs. When the retraction happens, it's typically after they made their sale. Okay, so they're good. They don't need it anymore. The other scenario is a person is using 2 accounts to get the card that they want for dirt cheap. What they do is they take their Fugazi account, if you will, their fake account, and they bid obnoxiously to drive out potential buyers. And then within a few hours of the auction ending, they retract their bids back down to their actual account, and then that account gets a deal. Typically, when a bid is retracted, it drives other buyers away because they think that something's wrong. So it kind of gives it a black eye. So I wasn't going to let that happen to my card. Not today. Not today. So I canceled the auction. Over the next couple of weeks, announcements come out regarding Ohtani and his elbow. Needs surgery. Needs Tommy John surgery. Which means he can't pitch for a year. And when a player has value based on being multifaceted, meaning they bring more than one thing to the table, and in this case, a hitter and a pitcher, because Ohtani was electric with the bat in his hands and dynamic as a pitcher. So Ohtani value dips. They don't play him at pitcher for the rest of the year, obviously, because he can't throw gas anymore. And he hits a little. Value goes down. Not being a dual threat player, a historical player that hasn't happened in 100+ years, your value is going to go down, okay? Prior to this happening, I'd received a couple of offers on the pair because I made it well known that I had both. And I'd gotten one offer of $5,500 for the pair, which was about $1,000 less than what I was the bottom line of what I wanted to take at the time for him. So I didn't sell. I didn't sell that season. However, in the off season, that fall, I made a trade with a local guy down in the Oregon area at a card show. And I got a handful of cards back, about $800 in value at the time. And cashed one out. The other I still have today. Now, I looked at these cards back in February, March as to what they were valued for back then, and they were down in the 400 to 500 range because Ohtani has had multiple injuries. He's had multiple surgeries, and nobody knew for sure if he was going to come back and pitch at full strength anyways. So that 400 to 500 was a far cry of the 2750 per card offer that I had in the summer of 2018. Now, with the 2021 baseball season being in full swing and Ohtani is back to being as advertised and potentially even better, he's got 20 plus home runs as of today. He's throwing gas on the mound. He's hitting 100 plus. And he's bombing the ball with the bat in his hands. He is what was advertised. So those prices are coming back up. I lucked out. Now, I could go on and on with stories of selling too early, holding too long, cashing out perfectly, because it's happened. If you've been buying and selling cards for any significant amount of time, you've had it all happen at some point, unless you're really bad at it. As I mentioned earlier, there's no science to this. Sure, you can be excellent at watching trends and markets, but no one can foresee injuries. There's been a lot of people who've been left holding the bag because of injuries. Nobody can predict injuries. A former employer of mine once told me, you can't go broke selling for profit. That stands true with collectibles as well. And I use that in the day-to-day in my business model for my company. Because if I can make a profit off of it, I'm not going to hold it for hoping that I can make twice what that person is, unless the trajectory is there. But for the most part, I'm going to take that profit because profit is profit. The key to it, though, is don't dwell on your prior sales. Once you sell a card or trade a card or whatever the case may be and it's not in your collection anymore, move on. Don't go back and visit values later. It can oftentimes be very painful because then you think what could have been. Besides, maybe you used that money for something big that you may not have gotten otherwise. Maybe you changed your life with that money without realizing it. Maybe if you hadn't gotten that 1,000 or even 500 or even 100, you may not have been able to pay a bill. You may not have been able to pay for going on vacation. You may not have been able to pay for going out to dinner. Hell, you might not have been able to pay for going out for drinks with your buddies. And maybe those drinks turned into something else great for you. You don't know. Ripple effect, which we can do a whole nother conversation on that. I've always said one thing when I was playing sports. Eyes forward. Stays here as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this story and hopefully this correlated for you. A lot of people I've talked to, this sits with them very well. So if you like this, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Check out the website, sportstuffhub.com. I have articles like this up on the website. We also do sports chat every Tuesday here on YouTube. We blend sports conversation with the hobby. And when I say the hobby, I mean sports cards and collectibles. We talk about that quite a bit on Tuesdays. We blend them both. It's more sports chat, more focused on sports, but sports cards follow hand in hand with it. Wednesday night's break night. I do group breaks every Wednesday night. It's a lot of fun. We got a great room, a great board that comes in. The chat room's a lot of fun. We move a lot of product on there. We pull a lot of fire. On the website, there's a group break page. Within that group break page is the breaks that are going live that week. Every Wednesday is break night, so get your spots if you see active breaks. Check back, because just because they say sold out doesn't mean that's sold out for the week. Go check it out. Check in constantly. Within the breaks page is a Breaks Hall of Fame page. I challenge each of you to get into a break and see if one of your cards can make the Break Hall of Fame. We relaunched Break Night in April. And since April, it is right now middle of June. So in 9 break nights, we've got a dozen plus cards on the Break Hall of Fame. And I don't break a lot on break night. Anywhere from 4 to 5 breaks per week, and they're usually 1 to 3 box breaks, max. The amount of fire that's in that Break Hall of Fame is insane. It's actually drawn local attention from a lot of the card shops. So go check it out. Get in on some breaks. We also sell single sports cards on the website. We sell boxes on the website. If you want to rip a box, see what we've got in stock. It's all broken down nice and easy for you. We also sell a lot of Funko Pops on the website. And at any given time, we have 500 to 1,000 different Funko Pops in inventory. It ebbs and flows because we do move a lot. We do a lot of the local card shows. So anyway, small business here. And if you want to support a small business, come on, check it out. sportstuffhub.com. As you see on the screen there, you see Twitter @sportstuffhub. You literally can go to almost any social media platform and look up Sports Stuff Hub, and you can find me. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, we're there. The website, it's simple. sportstuffhub.com. The goal is a brick and mortar store at some point. Hopefully in the next year or two. Crossing my fingers. We'll see. We got to get the growth there. Get the show going there on Tuesdays. We're working on some partnerships for the shows, for advertising. The show's a lot of fun. It's a blast every Tuesday. Break nights on Wednesday, so go check it out. So we'll be posting another video. Check out the YouTube channel for group breaks and Sports Stuff Hub live replays. It's all on there. Go check it out. sportstuffhub.com. We'll see you guys next time.